What's up, LoreHounds? It's Cooper here inside the Disruptor Beam booth. I'm here with Scott Triola, the product manager for Games of Thrones Ascent. So you guys, Game of Thrones! Ah! Facebook game.
Yep.
And so pretty much you've got to sell me because I'm not a big Facebook gamer. We're an MMO company that we cover that stuff, so hit us.
Well, it's an MMO at heart, and we're on Facebook right now because that's where a lot of our audience is, and we're working with HBO in terms of getting those Game of Thrones fans to play our game. But at its core, it's very different than other Facebook games out there. This is not a Farmville clone. This is its own thing, and it's really based around providing fans of the IP of Game of Thrones and just strategy gamer fans and MMO fans a chance to play a strategy game where they play a noble in Westeros, really with the goal of building up their holdings, helping and fighting other nobles, and progressing through a narrative set in the world. So our game actually takes place in the narrative that was established by George Martin, and our first two volumes align with the HBO series, and we're excited because now, with season 3 coming out next week, we're going to be releasing weekly content.
So the book series obviously came out in the 90s.
Yep.
Where do we start in the timeline? You mentioned there's already been 2 packs for the 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Where are we in the timeline when you actually pick up the game?
So when you enter the game, you start a little bit before season 1 of the HBO show, so it's a little bit of preamble, but for the most part, when you start playing the game, volume 1 in our game lines up with season 1 in the HBO show. And then we just released volume 2, which corresponds to season 2 of the HBO show. And
so Game of Thrones is a very character-driven show.
Yep.
And it seems like when you first look at the game, it's a bit of a city builder. So how does that mesh with the universe?
Well, one of the core gameplay loops in our game is really about quests, and our game has over 1,000 quests, which are really about directing players and providing a narrative, a written narrative of the storyline. So there's actually a very strong narrative component in our game that players have been giving us feedback on that's been very positive.
So would it be fair to say that you as a character are perhaps a leader of a minor house?
You start as a noble that's been given basically a dilapidated kingdom, and as you play, as you advance as a noble, you gain influence and power in the game, and ultimately, you know, we have a power leaderboard that measures that. But you build up and you grow your holdings in terms of adding buildings, upgrading buildings. As you do that, as you add more buildings, you can craft new weapons, you can craft new items, which give you more power.
So the 2 really interesting aspects where you actually link in the player and his holdings to the major houses, so Lannisters, yeah, Starks, and Aarons, and stuff like that. You can align yourself through the skill trees,
yep,
and then in your narrative, in quest, you have moral choices. So what are the moral choices, and how does that play out? Because they make an impact not only immediately, but down the line.
Yeah, there's a number of different factors. I mean, depending on which house you choose, your quest branches change a bit. So you get a family-specific storyline based on which family you've chosen. But also, as you mentioned, you can adjust your alignment by making choices, and within a quest, you can make choices based on family or realm and these different trade-offs. And as you do that, your alignment in the game changes. That can also impact your quest tree.
So one of the big problems with having moral obligations and branching storylines and narratives like that is people feel like they miss content.
Right.
Are players able to like make a new character or re-roll? Can you have multiple ones, or is it just one?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I should say, as you play, I mean, there's a main narrative thread, and the choices you make take you on little diversions, but you're not going to miss out on a key part of the story or a key part of the gameplay if you choose one or the other. It just plays out in a different way. But certainly in our game, we have a thing called reincarnation. So if you succeed and complete all the quests, you can start over as a new character, or at any point you can actually re-roll or restart your character and begin from the beginning. Again, if you want to change your choices or replay the quest in a different way.
So you can't have simultaneous characters, but you can kind of retool it?
No, currently it's one character per account, but you can retool and you can change your talents, you can reset talents and then reapply those talent points. So we allow you to make adjustments as you go.
So the game isn't huge on, you know, kind of as far as when I was playing, it wasn't like money grubbing, like, you know, you want to do this, give me money.
Right.
But where do you guys, as a free-to-play game, get your money? There's microtransactions of some kind. What do they kind of tend to focus on?
Yeah, I mean, the main area, so, I mean, clearly it's a free-to-play game, and someone can play the game and have a wonderful time. The area where we do monetize are not unlike other games, things like accelerants. I mean, we have quest timers. We don't have a diminishing resource that stops people, but we do have certain actions that require time, so people can decide to accelerate. If people don't want to craft items or don't want to earn silver to buy items, we certainly let people buy premium items, and we also let people exchange gold for silver, our free currency. So
Game of Thrones Ascent, we got new content coming out with season 3 of HBO, and that I believe that starts next week, right? The show?
Sunday, March 31st, the season 3 debut, and we'll be pushing our initial volume 3 content shortly after that.
So players can just search it on Facebook and sign up?
Yep, go on Facebook, search Game of Thrones Ascent, you'll find the app, install it, and you're off and running.
Thanks so much, it looks great.
Yep, thank you very much.